You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
The quiet tube how Trump is dismantling the government to consolidate power, based on an article by Matthew Rosser. Trump is not reforming the civil service. He is capturing it. The point was never efficiency. The reporting centers on a familiar Trump move pressure the machinery of government until it stops resisting him. According to the article, the White House pushed the Merit Systems Protection Board behind the scenes, and the board's ruling weakened the main path federal workers used to challenge dismissals. That is not bureaucratic housekeeping. It is the deliberate dismantling of the rules that let civil servants do their jobs without political blackmail. Power sits at the top, and it is acting like it. There is no mystery about who has agency here. Trump and his White House staff are the actors, and the board's decision is the consequence. The article says the administration mounted a concerted pressure campaign in public and private, led by a White House aide focused on making federal workers easier to fire. That is not incidental influence. It is executive power used to reshape the executive branch into a loyalty machine. The framing sanitizes open coercion. The source calls the pressure little different from calling a federal judge and telling him how to rule, which is the right level of bluntness. But the broader political habit is worse. These maneuvers are often described as staffing, streamlining, or legal theory. They are none of those things. If the White House can punish officials for policy disagreement, then independence becomes a word used only for theater, not governance. The unitarist executive has a body count. The article links this campaign to the conservative theory of the unitary executive, but theory is not the story. The story is what the theory permits: removing protections from workers who handle prosecutions, immigration, and oversight so they can be replaced with loyalists. That includes the targeting of people like Kathy Harris and Maureen Kamei, which signals not just administrative control but retaliation against perceived enemies. The message is simple: serve the law, and you may be treated as disloyal. Election fear is the real use case. The article notes concerns that these purges could help Trump rig elections or cling to power. That is not paranoia in a vacuum. It follows naturally from a project built around removing accountability. If a president wants agencies staffed by people who owe him loyalty rather than law, then elections become obstacles to manage, not mandates to respect. The rhetoric about voters in the White House defense is especially revealing. It uses democracy as a mask for anti-democratic control. The pattern is institutional cowardice under pressure. This is the larger pattern. Power tests the boundaries. Institutions absorb the hit, and commentary treats the damage as a dispute over procedure. Meanwhile, the civil service is stripped of the protections that make it more than an extension of a president's moods. Trump's operation is not subtle. It is an effort to convert public administration into private obedience, then dress the result up as constitutional principle. What this story really shows, the political meaning is plain. When an administration pressures oversight bodies to erase due process, it is not defending the republic against bias. It is removing the barriers between personal power and state power. That is the architecture of capture. First the rules are weakened, then the loyalists move in, and finally the public is told this is just how government works now. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to AltaNet for today's article. With it automated voice of Bryce. Thanks for listening.